Ever since I moved out here, I cared about the client success more than anything. I have stories talking about this ever since I moved out here. Client results are everything. If I care about the client results more than anything, the money will follow.
All right, welcome to the Grindcast. So on this episode, we have Mr. Luke Dobson. If you're in Southern Utah, you've probably seen Luke in your Instagram feed. In just 1 year, Luke has gone from driving Uber to doing $220,000 in revenue last month with a business aimed at helping service-based businesses thrive by building their online presence. Initially starting in St. George, Utah, InstaClose is working on going nationwide. Welcome to the Grindcast, Luke Dobson.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Christian. Danielle, I really appreciate the time. Looking forward to this.
We are so excited about this one because you just had tremendous growth. So first off, I mean, how did you get started in this business with InstaClose? How did you get started in it?
So it's really started with the paid ad side of things a year ago. But before that, to back it up a little bit, I had a background of videography and just really investing in coaches and mentors to learn certain skill sets. I took one certain skill set that I wanted to learn, and that was organic social media for like social selling for online fitness coaching back in the day, like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And invested with that, learned how to use Instagram to sell using Instagram stories. But then I took that, did online fitness coaching for a bit, realized I wasn't finding the ideal fit clients and just at that time. So I had to pivot. And once I pivoted, I started picking up a camera and doing more videography, video edits for people, for online fitness coaches, small businesses, and entrepreneurs. And then I invested to learn paid ads. So I had a video, I knew how to make a video editing agency and do all those systems, but then I had to pay heavily to learn paid ads. And then I saw the opportunity out here in St. George. Quite literally a year ago, I was here to the day. I came out to film for Koi with Free Flow Plumbing in Drains here in town.
Okay.
And basically came in as a referral from his buddy in San Diego. We got on the phone. He wanted to be the best known plumber in town. I was like, perfect. I've been working really hard on becoming the best known person for videography, video editing, any type of needs for Instagram, talking head style videos. Just like how if once this gets cut up into short form, just like this. And so I came out to visit and I realized there was an opportunity here. Nobody was running paid ads and nobody was talking on camera for their businesses in town. Some people here and there, but I saw the opportunity, I saw the gap in the marketplace. And so what we did was I came out here, I realized I loved it. I didn't have anything tying me to San Diego anymore, which I think we're gonna chat about.
Yeah.
And I didn't have anything tying me to San Diego anymore. So my mentor said, Luke, if you love it out there and you want to move out there, move out to St. George as fast as possible, run local ads and teach local service businesses there how to run ads. Because I knew how to run ads on Instagram. And so within
That's amazing.
3 weeks after that, I was moving here, Koi with Free Flow Plumbing. He was like, Luke, when you're ready to move out here, I'll bring my truck and trailer down to San Diego. I'll help you move everything, like your family. And I was like, wow. Like,
I think it's cool because you're practicing what you preach. Like literally what you do for other service-based businesses is what you did to grow your business. It's not like, because I think a lot of other marketing companies, like they don't do the same thing, right? They have a different plan for their clients than what they do for themselves. And that's probably why a lot of them just don't work. I mean, I've hired tons of marketing companies and it's rare that it works or you see much success.
Well, and then the crazy part about that is like there's so many like marketing companies that don't do their own marketing, right? So it's like, what the heck, guys? Like practice what you preach.
Exactly.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw people were either doing like the jack of all trades, master of none. So I wanted to get very niched with my marketing and I wanted to do the same exact style of marketing that I was going to be telling my clients to do. So when I first moved out here, it was videography plus ads. And after that, after scaling, we did a ton of videography work here in town and we scaled out of that to solely coaching service business owners how to run ads nationwide now.
No, that's an amazing story. So Koi is who kind of brought you out here. How did he find you?
So he was good friends with a buddy named Brandon Castillo from back in San Diego.
I know him.
You know Brandon Castillo?
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally, but I had a friend that knew him, and so I actually am friends with him on Facebook.
No way, 601, tattoo artist.
Oh, maybe a different one.
Oh, maybe. Too many Brandon Castillos.
He's actually in real estate. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe different. So Brandon Castillo, I met him. So everything ties back to each other. This is a good story with it. I met Brandon Castillo. Basically, I started doing content for Brandon Castillo in San Diego. And then Coy and him were friends on Instagram. And then Coy hit Brandon up. I have the screenshots and everything from when this happened. It was cool. He's like, hey, who's doing all your videos on Instagram? I love that. I want the same thing for my plumbing company here in St. George. I just don't know how to edit it. Like, get me your guy. And that's how we got connected. But how me and Brandon got connected was from the first mentor I ever invested with. And so this is kind of trippy because 3 years ago I invested with a guy named Wes Watson, online fitness coaching, got me in shape. I dropped all my body fat, and then I invested in his business coaching. So I spent $7,500 at 21 years old, put between 2 different cards to invest to get around this community of entrepreneurs, online fitness coaches, and people that are investing in their social media. So I got around this good group of people from Wes Watson. Wes Watson now is like, he's a crazy guy. He's all tatted. He went to prison for 10 years, and but he makes $3 million a month. So from his phone, all him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So Wes Watson, he's got like almost 1 million followers on Instagram now, but he's crazy. One of the best success stories I've heard and changed my mindset 100%. I first started listening to him like 4 years ago to get out of depression. Like when I first started hearing him, it changed my whole mindset. It got me, like, I only wanted to just sleep all day. It's 4 years ago. I wanted to sleep all day. I didn't want to get out of bed. I had no purpose, no drive, no definite aim or purpose for my life, for my day. And so I started listening to this guy, Wes Watson. My brother sent me him. Like, yo, listen to this guy.
Dude, I know before you go on, like, I can't imagine you without all of this energy.
I know.
Because every time I've seen you have so much energy, and I'm like, how does this guy have so much energy? I want that much energy.
It's Celsius.
We need to be sponsored by Celsius at this point.
Is that the trick?
Yeah. Well, now like life's.
But
just,
no, I love hearing that because it's like you had a tough time 4 years ago, and you didn't just like sit there and do nothing. You were proactive about it. You found a mentor, somebody to teach you how to get through that. I love that.
Yes, 100%. It was it's just he had talking videos, just talking about mindset, talking about like create the man you admire in all ways and gift him to the world. And like these little one-liners, I started making a quotes note on my phone, and now you can just scroll and scroll and scroll. It's like the question we all always have to ask ourselves every single day now is, how can I best serve everybody else today? What does that look like?
I absolutely love it.
So to go back to the Brandon story with it, so I found Wes, truly got me out of depression on a morning routine and everything. And then a year later, I had enough funds and I had the mindset to go from working at Trader Joe's making $17 an hour 4 years ago to getting all into door-to-door solar. So I got into that, and I was sick of the mask mandates and all that at that point, living in Phoenix. My buddy said, Luke, with your mindset alone, you would crush it with door-to-door solar. Trust me. And I was like, fine, I'll take that leap of faith. So I was 20 years, I'm 23, like 3.5 years, just over 3 years ago, because I quit in December of 3 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
So this is in January right now. So quit Trader Joe's. I had coworkers at that time telling me, Luke, like, oh, we'll see you soon. We'll see you back here. And like thinking I wasn't going to make it, I was going to come back to Trader Joe's. Wow. And I was like, ooh, I got the fire lit underneath me right there for the first time.
It's always about that
That's
fire.
a strong, that's a strong fuel too when somebody tells you something like that, like you're not going to make it, we'll see you here. Right?
Yeah, it can light the fire underneath you in a good way to do positive things for your future, for your success, for your mindset, everything. But yeah, long story short with that, like I invested with, this will all tie into the Wes Watson and Brandon Castillo. Okay. So I then was doing door-to-door solar. With the mindset alone, I just knew I had to knock another door. I learned sales for the first time. My first ever door I ever knocked on in door-to-door solar. It was me and the guy training me. His name was Gabe Rogers. Genesis Power Solutions in Mesa, Arizona.
Okay,
I was doing this with. My first door by myself or with him, I knocked on the door. I said, hey, my name is Gabe, and then I said the wrong name.
Yeah.
I introduced myself with Gabe because I was hearing Gabe saying, hi, I'm Gabe. And so like I knew it couldn't get any worse than that. I completely fumbled the first door.
That's so
but it's like, okay, it can't get worse than this. Let's keep going. And then then I made the same amount I would make in a month working at Trader Joe's in one day.
Wow.
So within a week or two of doing door-to-door solar, which is all commission-based. And I was like, whoa, I can't not have some type of commission in my life. And then it set my mind on a path for commission. Sales is the way. I was going to school for cybersecurity, going to Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona. studying cybersecurity. I wanted to get into something with cybersecurity sales at that point. So then I did an internship with cybersecurity sales, was making $500 a month for about 3 months. I maxed out all my credit cards and everything. It was terrible.
Oh my gosh.
But I had a good job title out of that. And so doing cybersecurity sales and learning a ton. That got me a job with a company called Dialpad, very similar to Zoom. It's like a business, communication system.
That's what you use now, right?
Yeah, we use them now for the group calls.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a job as Dialpad as an account executive with a 55K base, 45K commission for the year. And I was like, oh, 105K for the year, like at 21 years old, like this is awesome. And so it was cool because I was 21, everyone around me was 25, 26, 27. And then I just knew I had to outwork everybody.
Yeah.
And then I did. And then and then from that, I was able to invest with Wes Watson. I closed a commission check at 21, and it covered that whole 7,500. I still had to split it up because I couldn't. I went over my daily limit at that time at 21. But I invested with Wes to learn online fitness coaching, doing that on the side. And then I invested with Wes, and so now I have that then I got, we got to talk about the marriage and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So where
let's-
did you meet her?
Let's get to
Yeah.
hang on. Let's get to that in just a second because
Yeah.
I love like the lessons there. Like I love your version of skill stacking.
Yeah.
You go out and you're paying somebody to acquire whatever the skills are, and you're willing to invest a lot. Like if you make $100,000 a year and you invest $7,500, like that's a big percentage of your after-tax income.
Yeah.
Right. Most people are like not willing to invest much. They want to put out $500.
Yeah.
But I think those things can have the biggest return. It's just like the clients that pay you now, they've got the biggest return from that. And I like your method for going out and it's like, okay, there's a skill that I want to learn, videography, or learn from this guy. I'm going to just pay them, and I'm going to learn from them. I think that's impressive, and it shows you're just so dedicated to having mentors.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
When you risk it all is yours.
Yes. So let's talk about the marriage part really quick because we've talked a little bit about that before, but I think you're driven a lot by being told that you can't do something. Just like we just heard about it from Trader Joe's, but you also experienced this in a previous marriage.
Yeah.
Can you share some about that?
Yes, of course, in the most positive light possible. Yeah. It was probably the biggest transformation in the last 3 years of my life was going through that.
Mm-hmm.
I had it. So backing up a little bit, dated this girl from high school, put her on a pedestal my whole life. We rushed in, and then I was in Phoenix, Arizona. She was in Newport Beach, California, where we were born and raised, and went to high school together. I rekindled things and did long distance dating. She moved out to Arizona once I proposed, and with the path to marriage, we started dating with marriage in mind. We had our horse blinders on for marriage. We got engaged. She moved out to Phoenix, and then even then, horse blinders on for marriage. We got married. Did premarital counseling. We did it the perfect Christian way, the perfect to a T. Looking on Instagram, it was the perfect looking couple, the perfect. And so. But like social media is just a facade. It's just a one face. It's whatever you want to show. That's why I do so much to show both sides on social media, not just all the positives. You got to talk about it's not all sunshines and rainbows all the time, like all that. So got married, and then just when she moved in, just basically crap hit the fan. We butted heads a ton. We shouldn't have rushed into marriage. We should have gone through seasons together, but it is what it is. Obviously can't go back now. And but then long story short, moved to San Diego to be closer to family. And then I didn't want that to just be a Band-Aid fix. It was. Got a puppy thinking that was going to help. Cutest puppy, mini Bernedoodle. And then towards the end, we got a mini Golden Doodle too. So we thought getting a second puppy was going to help. That didn't help. Went through 3 months of Christian marriage counseling. I got advice from everybody underneath the sun. I got advice from people that were divorced or that were married at first, saying, Luke, divorce is not an option. It says it in the Bible, divorce is not an option. Don't. And then I was like, okay, thank you. I got advice from people that were married forever but stayed together because of kids. And they were like, Luke, divorce is not an option. I was like, okay, good to know, thank you. Even though I know you're miserable, because of how you express it all, but you still said divorce is not an option. I commend you for that. I know where their heart was with it, but they stayed together because of kids, and I respect that. And then I got advice from people that were divorced, remarried, and had a beautiful family afterwards. They said, Luke, you don't have to live in misery. I've seen you over the last year. I've seen your energy go down and everything. You don't have to live in misery. So I took all that people's advice, And like long story short with it, we tried separating and all that. She was like, Luke, I'm giving you the ultimatum. Are you in or out? I looked at her and I was like, taking all this information, advice. I looked at her and I was like, I would be happy seeing you in the future with a husband and kids, and I wouldn't have any regrets seeing that. Like, I want you to flourish in life. I thought that to myself, and then I was like, yep, this is it. So boom, that was a year ago, a year and like a month ago.
Wow,
And
so that's more recent, and sometimes it's hard to make those tough decisions. And I think there's some people who just kind of, when there's a tough decision there to be made, they'll kick the can down the road instead, right? Like, I don't want to make it today; it's too hard to make. So let me kick the can down the road a month or two, and then it just keeps popping up. But when you're asked that question, like that takes a lot of guts to think about it and say, you know what, this isn't right for me.
Mhm.
I need to move on, and to have the ability to make that big of a decision. Like,
Huge.
that's awesome.
One of the biggest decisions in my life.
Mhm.
So, but like, it is what it is. Like, we butted heads just a ton. She's like, Luke, I wish you would just come home at 5 p.m. and just chill with me on the couch. My brain doesn't operate like that, unfortunately. So it is what it is, but now she's way happier, I'm way happier, so it's like, God is always good. Even though you don't see it. I saw where my life was going to the day I died with this beautiful girl. To the day I died, I had no idea where my life was going on this path. To the day I died here, I had no idea. So when I pulled the plug there, I was like, God, I have no idea why I'm going through all this, but I trust you. Like, I'm giving this all to you. Like, go and let God. I had no idea what was going on. I solely focused not on the past or not on the present, or not on the future, only the present. I only wanted to focus on this conversation. So every conversation I had right after the divorce, it was like, I'm fully present. Like, my phone's off. Like, nothing in the past matters. Nothing in the future matters. I'm not going to get anxious about the future or depressed about the past. This is all we got. It truly is.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm good. Like, any conversations I was having, people were like, are you good? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm great. Like, how are you? What's going on with you? And that's how, yeah, it was great. And so right after that, she said, Luke, like, because she saw me invest with Wes at first, with Wes Watson for that 7,500, and it not come to fruition. But in October of last year, Wes put on his story. This is crucial. He lived in San Diego when I was there.
Yeah.
Put on his story, looking for a videographer in 2 hours at Self-Made in Del Mar, California. And I was like, oh, like, I have nothing going on this morning. I'm trying to just find work and everything. I'm driving for Uber at this point too, like trying to pay the bills on the videography side of things. Trying to pay bills. I was like, Wes, I got you. I'll be there. I saw his Instagram story saying that. I swiped up, like, we're good. Like, I invested with this guy. He knows me. Wes, I'll be there. And so he's like, awesome, cool, I'll see you there. Boom, here's the address, here's the time. I showed up, and then he was doing a workout with Brandon Castillo.
Oh, okay.
Brandon Castillo and a guy named, his name's Big SC Boy on Instagram. He's got 1 million followers or so. So it was them three working out. Brandon and Wes have been friends since, like, high school or something like that. They snowboarded together. And cool. And so that's how I met Brandon. Then I started doing content for Brandon from that one meetup that I didn't know him beforehand at all. And then that's how I met Brandon. Started doing content for Brandon. And then once Brandon started posting that, Coy's friends with Brandon.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So Coy saw the clips from Brandon and was like, yo, get me your guys' contact info. And then, so I had to go through all that. And then my ex and I separated right around the same time too. And then I was like, you know, screw it. I'll come out to St. George. Let's see what you guys got out there. And then I videoed for him.
I love it because when you went through a tough time, it wasn't like you just sat home and just like, I'm just going to be sad. Like, you're like, I'm going to go and try to make something happen. I don't know what yet. I don't even know where this is going to go, but I'm going to just go for it and kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
And you might not have known, if you look past a year, you probably you didn't know that you'd be sitting here right now with where things are. Yeah. But you had a little bit of, a little bit of a path, and you're like, I don't know where this is going to lead, but I'm going to try it. Maybe I don't feel ready yet, but I'm just going to try it anyways and see where it goes, and then learn along the way.
That's it. So yeah, no, I appreciate that. So yeah, during the video, like around October of last year, September, October, I was having to drive for Uber just to be able to pay the bills, just to be able to keep myself afloat at that time.
This was 1 year, 2 months ago, just for people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
1 year, 3 months ago.
Yeah,
so.
1 year, 3 months ago, driving for Uber in San Diego. And so that was like a huge point. Like, I had doing the videography, I had a faulty chargeback go through on my account too. So faulty chargeback, this kid we were doing content for, got halfway through doing the content for him and needed funds. So we didn't have a contract in place at that time. It was messy. And so he did a chargeback and he got his $3,000 back. $2 or $3,000. I think it was $3,000. I had the screenshot for it. Did the chargeback on Stripe. I didn't have any agreement in place at first or like with it, but we did work for him. Boom. Stripe always favors the customer in that point. So what happened? I got $3,000 taken out of my account, and I had $1,800 in my checking account, negative $3,000 on my savings account, and $4,000 on a credit card, $3,840 to be exact.
Wow.
I have a screenshot. So that was like my lowest. Driving for Uber, trying to pay the bills, just had a faulty chargeback go through. I was tripping out. My now ex, she didn't really know what was going on. She didn't know because if I told her, she would freak out even more. But she was always telling me, Luke, you need to get a job. You need to get a job. You need to get a job. Start applying for jobs. And instead of applying for jobs, I had the website pulled up and everything for a company called Dr. Multimedia out in San Diego for like media, like sales stuff. I had it pulled up, but then instead I was like, I'm going to reach out to people for video stuff. Reached out to a ton of people. My buddy Eddie was working for a solar company and got connected with that solar company. I went the next morning to pitch basically the owner of it. His name's Anthony. He signed up for ads a little bit ago, and like he's already crushing with that. And I started doing videos for him. So I pitched him. I was like, hey, let's do videos. Let's blow up your solar company here in San Diego for recruits, for new deals, like organically, social media at this point. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. Sweet. 30 videos for $3,000. Perfect. Yeah, let's do it. So boom. Now I'm not in the negatives. So then got that deposit. And then now my account's not in the negative. Now it can start snowballing.
In that moment when you hit that and you were everything was negative.
Yeah.
Did you have some time there where maybe you questioned yourself? And you're like, I don't know, maybe this isn't really working. Maybe I am supposed to go get a job, or was it just like I'm just focused on figuring this out?
I did because I had it fed to me from my ex.
Okay.
So you need to get a job. You need to get a job. I never doubted myself
Okay.
with it. I knew if there's a will, there's a way, and other people in a worse position than me have been able to figure it out.
Love that.
So I know I could too. We're no different. It's just a matter of like throwing the things at a wall, seeing what sticks, and reaching out. That's why I preach like it's not about being the best, it's about being the best known, because becoming the best known, reaching out for everyone to know exactly what I was offering to the world, that solved it. And so now it's solving the same thing for my clients.
Got it. So you just believe like I've got these skills, and if I just make sure that I'm known, I'm going to eventually figure some of this stuff out.
Exactly.
And it's inevitable. And so I'm going to trust that and not get into a place where I'm worried about the future and what's going on, but I'm just going to trust that I've got the skills, and as long as I keep going, I don't give up.
Yeah.
I'm going to eventually figure it out.
That's it.
Now there was something she said to you that kind of really sparked you. Like what was that?
Yeah, so right after we split, I invested with this guy named Boris to learn the paid ads side of things and for his coaching offer. That was like $8,000 at the time to invest, and it was like $500 a week on a credit card for the next 16 weeks. And I was like, ooh, this is the biggest payment I've ever done. It's split up. I'll put it on a credit card and I'll figure it out as I go. I did not have that money in my bank account when I invested. And so I invested with him, and then I started learning the paid ads side of Instagram because he was doing it very well with video editing, like a video editing agency. He did well with that, and then he's just ran ads. He's spent a ton of money to learn it. And so I invested with him. I was like, you know what? Screw it. What do I have to lose? Just send it. And then my ex found out, and then she called me. I remember this vividly. She was like, Luke, she gave me a call after we split. She's like, Luke, I heard you just invested with another mentor. I want to make sure I'm off all your financials. I was like, you are. Don't you worry, you are. And there was the fire lit underneath me. Some things with her family too. Like they didn't believe in me. They wanted me to do well, and they obviously knew I was going to do well at some point. But like they just saw their daughter, their granddaughter, like
Right.
struggling, like all that kind of stuff, and they wanted the best for her, obviously too.
Right.
So I had the fire lit underneath me, and that fire can be so powerful.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna go back to her and be like, hey, look at what we're at now, look at what we're doing, I'm never gonna do that because we've grown past that. But it was the fire that lit me.
Yeah. I had a similar experience when I right before I moved to Utah, my ex, we were standing in the kitchen. I remember it like it was yesterday. And he was just like, you'll never be a successful entrepreneur. And I was like, thank you. But that got me through COVID. Like it literally pushed me because I was like, I cannot fail. I cannot prove him right. So, he's since apologized and doesn't remember saying it, but
Right.
but at the time it was so significant, so it's amazing like how people can drive us with those types of conversations. So.
Yeah.
And I have the same thing from when I was like 19, 20 or so. It was my first girlfriend. We were together for a couple of years. And I had gone to college and then dropped out and came back and, didn't have a job. And so there was about 2 months, like she helped me out. She, I think, paid a cell phone bill or something like that. And at the end of that 2 months, she said, you'll never amount to anything. And so it was, and it was just such a driving force for me. And I remember the day, because I always kept track of kind of where I was. So I remember the day that I became a millionaire. And I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, I just want to send this over to her right now. I didn't do it. I sent it to my dad, and that was the only one I sent it to. But I was thinking that, and some of those things can be such a strong driving force. So I like if we use things that happen in our life as the driving force for good. Right. It's such a powerful thing. And I know sometimes people will have those things happen, and it'll crush them, and they'll stay there. But if you can flip that and use that as a really strong fire to get you to the other side, it's so strong.
Right. And so the way I see it is like, you can either have that affect you, and I could have been like, oh yeah, maybe he's right. Maybe I'll never be good at this. Yeah. But instead, we look at it completely differently as like a reason why we can't fail, And so I think that's the difference between, some people. It's incredible, but.
Yeah, it all goes down to life's happening for us,
right.
Not to us.
Always.
Life's happening for us. So every single thing that we go through, every single negative thing people say, the person cuts you off in the middle of traffic, life's happening for you.
Right.
So when you think that, everything's going in your favor, whether you see it now or not. Like, you don't know what God's got planned for your life in that moment, but it's happening for us.
I love that. I want to switch gears a little bit because one thing I'm really excited about with you is your clients. Like I've had a chance to talk to some of the clients, and it's funny because it's a totally different experience than any people I've met with that have had either marketing or consultants or whoever help them. Right? They'll say like, oh yeah, it's okay, but these people are just true believers and true fans of yours after joining it. It's like once they join, they seem to become even greater fans. Like I've never experienced that before, and I know
it's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
No, but the value that you get is definitely well worth it. But
so that tells you right there.
Right, right. And so I know that the client wins, and you posted about these a lot on Instagram, are just are really fulfilling, really important for you.
Yeah.
Are there any that kind of stick out to you that have been huge and influential for you?
Yeah, Coy, for example, for first ever client, we didn't know what we were doing at that point.
Yeah.
He turned his first 10 grand of ad spend into 190 grand over the last year. My buddy Trace Walters in Arizona, a landscaper, he turned his first $10,000 of ad spend into $350,000 of ad into revenue, top line for his landscaping company between a few good jobs. It is very, very common for people to get their first $1,000 of ad spend into $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. Like the first $1,000 of ad spend after they've never ran an ad in their life. I'm teaching them how to run Instagram ads, how to follow up in the DMs, how to do local giveaways to crush. And their majority, I'd say 99% of businesses can't crack the code of how to turn an Instagram follower into a paying client. Yeah. I would assume. I don't know the statistics, but that's what I would assume because of just what we've seen. So now, with predictably and guaranteed, you're able to run local Instagram ads showing your face, getting people seeing your page, following you every single day. You become the best known, and you are going to get the business because you're the best known. They vibe with your personality. They see you do good work because we show it on Instagram, and people buy from people. So we're not just showing off the work, we're showing off you and the work. Right. We're showing off client testimonials. It's a different way of doing marketing. Nobody is teaching service business owners how to do this at a nationwide level. And I know a lot of people in the space.
And I think in that industry, like there's a lot of businesses that are good, like their product is really good, but where they struggle is the marketing side.
Yep.
Right? And it's like, and the marketing side is so huge for a company to succeed. Like if you don't have marketing, word of mouth's not enough. You need to have good marketing. People need to know who you are. So I think you'd mentioned that you've had some businesses that you've worked with that were struggling. And like I said, maybe they had a really good product, but they just didn't know how to quite market it. Are there any stories of that you can share?
Yeah, so obviously when you're scrappy early on, you can help people out. Like I had a little bit more time. I helped a buddy out that I knew I grew up with him. Like he lived 2 doors down from my grandparents. Anderson Auto Detailing on Instagram. You can look at his page. You can see where it's at now. He's dominating Tulsa, Oklahoma auto detailing. He hit me up. He's like, Luke, do you have any advice, any tips on what we can do? Like, I don't want to go get another job, but I'm going to have to probably close up shop if I don't do something to change my business. And I helped him out, got him set up with ads and everything to begin, and then he was going to pay once he got the results. He obviously did, but it saved him from going under. He got 10 grand a month. Like he dominated the Instagram auto detailing side of social media in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now he's crushing. Now people are wanting to collaborate with him on posts and all that, like in Tulsa. Another one, guy had 3 grand in his bank account, and he's another auto detailer. And I was like, all right, so what is the cost, or what did I say? During the sales call, I was like, all right, so if like you say you can't afford to do this, but can you afford not to? And I told him that, and then he thought, and he's like, send the Stripe payment. I was like, okay, that's it. So, but then he had 3 grand in his account. We used, financing options, and boom, he had his first 10K month, like the month or two after that, in his detailing business. He's never had a 10K month, and now he's doing those.
That is amazing. I mean, so
yeah.
What's it like on your end when they call you with those results? You get that phone call and you're like, Luke, I want to tell you where I'm at. I want to tell you the results that I have.
It is the most fulfilling business model, and that's why I believe we're going to keep scaling this at the pace we are, is because of how fulfilling it is. It's not just a monotonous job that I'm going there to clock into. We're getting people tangible results. If they put in the work, they have to put in work. They have to respond back to us in Slack. They have to. You would be surprised. They have to put in some work with the content and sending DMs. But if they do, and they believe in this, it works. We haven't had a client not succeed. That is hitting us up in Slack, asking us questions. Like obviously some clients that just signed up, if it's a landscaper, remodel, that takes a little bit more time to get deals. But once those deals hit, you're going to have immediate 10 to 20x return on ad spend. It's beautiful. So it is the most fulfilling work. That's why the whole team has bought into this. This is a team of 12 people underneath what you see here, and everybody's fulfilled because of that. We're changing businesses. We're making people more money in their businesses. They're tapping into a social media marketing game that has not been played yet in any town. If you want to take this for example, go to any small town or any town in general. Go to the town, look up all the plumbers in that town. Go to their website. You're going to find them on Google Maps. Go to their website. Go to their Instagram. Every single Instagram page is going to look the same. It's going to be pictures of the pipes, or it's going to be the automated things in Canva. Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Memorial Day. I can guarantee you, actually 100% of the businesses are going to look like that. Nobody's tapping into this. People are just now starting to tap into the talking on camera aspect, but they don't have the ads.
Yeah, and nobody cares about the Happy Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
Or the picture of the pipe.
Exactly.
They don't really care.
That's why it's just nobody's doing this style of marketing. So I took everything I learned from Wes Watson with the organic social media selling, using your Instagrams as a TV show for selling, as a TV show with commercials built into it, of like entertain, jab, 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 right hook. Same thing with Gary Vee. It's the same thing on the Instagram stories. I'm teaching all my clients how to do that. So I learned that from Wes. I learned so much from Boris on the paid ad side of things. And then I molded this into the offer that we have now. And I'm teaching all my clients it, and they're dominating their social media in their town.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So last month, 220,000 in revenue.
Yeah.
When you looked at that, what was it like when you looked at that? And because you're looking at that and you're thinking about obviously everything that it took to get there, right? You're thinking about what you heard from the previous marriage, right? From all of those things, from the mentors that you had, from driving Uber, from the person at Trader Joe's saying we'll see you back here in a little bit. What was it like that moment when you added it up and you're like, oh my gosh, here's what we did?
It's anybody who's done like 6 figures a month will say it's like, okay, yeah, it's great. But then you're always looking for more. You're never satisfied in that dollar amount. So I've never even been satisfied with it. It's great. It's like, I can't believe it actually sometimes. I really can't. But it's like we did that. We're getting people good results, so I can morally show that, because people that are putting in the work, they're getting crazy results. But for me, like, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's numbers on a screen at that point. It's like I don't have to worry if I have to go get double steak at Chipotle anymore. That's really it. That's all I wanted to. Like coming out here, I wanted to just make sure financial freedom. I didn't want to worry about having to get double steak. I don't have to worry anymore, which is cool. But like the vision for this is so much greater. That's why I'm not like fulfilled with the money aspect. I'm never going to be fulfilled with the money aspect, because you can't be fulfilled with that. I'm fulfilled with the service, with the client success, because ever since I moved out here, I cared about the client success more than anything. I have stories talking about this ever since I moved out here. Client results are everything. If I care about the client results more than anything, the money will follow.
Providing value.
I agree with that.
The value. And so that's what I've cared about ever since doing this. That's why we now have 2 people on for client success and me in there. And like, we have the back end support for any type of DMs. My appointment setter will help you script out your whole DM talk track for sales, for DMs, for ads, for everything. We have all the client success built out. That's what I care about. And then the money will come. Like, we have huge goals this month or this year.
I love that, and I just think if you're focusing on that, it just drives you more and more and more, because it's so fulfilling to hear those stories about these businesses that have turned around.
Yeah.
Or they're suddenly having success that you're like, I want to go find more of them. I want to go find more people to help. I want to change more lives. That's everything.
It's a disservice not to.
Oh, I love that.
Ooh, it's a disservice not to. It's selfish not to. That's how I think about it, because I know that's actually why I don't take sales calls anymore. Because like when people we have their systems in place with our appointment setters, with our phone call qualifier, and then sales call with me and my growth operator, Senwall. Me and him will hop on that final call. They already know price, budget, all that kind of stuff. There's financing options. I can't take those sales calls anymore because I've seen too many client wins. I get too excited on those sales calls with businesses. So yeah, if it's another junk removal company that is coming in from Florida or whatever, it's like, I know where you're going to be at in 1 to 2 months if you go with this, because of my past junk removal clients that were in a very similar situation. I start talking too fast, it scares them away, all that kind of stuff. I realized that, and so I got Semwall on board, and he's just so logical with it. Numbers oriented. Okay, you're here. You want to get to this this year, and it's like, okay, this is the path to do it. We're going to do this, 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 and this. What do you think? And then it's a logical decision rather than an emotional, and I'm not scaring them away.
Well, and the cool thing is they can see. I mean, they can see your clients. Like when you do your call every week or so, you'll post in your Instagram and you'll tag them, and I'm sure people are going out and they're reaching out to them. In fact, I was talking to was it McKay, and he said that he had reached out to a few people before joining you.
Yeah.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Reached out just to see, hey, is this guy really about this? Is it really working? And everybody had just such great things to say. So that's what's cool, is you're not hiding your clients. Like, I think there's a lot of people that are in the marketing space in general that just like to hide their clients. Like, I don't want you to know who they are, right? Yeah. And if you're like, hey, do you have somebody you've worked with? Well, it's private information. You're like, publicly, here you go. Here's everybody. Mm-hmm. And that's amazing. And that just speaks to how confident you are in what you're doing in the mission. Yeah, if you're not, why do people gatekeep? I can only see the one reason now why people do is because people are getting hit up too much for that. We're having the leads come in, like, and then they're seeing the testimonials and they're hitting them up like consistently. And so that's the only issue I can see with it. I don't know what we can do about that right now, but yeah, people are hitting up the clients because I want that open information, because I am confident in this. If you put in the work with this, it works. Hands down, because nobody's doing it. Like, nobody in their niche, in their industry is doing this in town. So I am very open with it. Anytime we get a new client on, you can go to my clients with the rocket emoji and the moon emoji, story highlights. Every client, since I started doing like these story highlights, you can tap on that until your finger gets tired of new clients. Yeah. And so we've helped like close to 100 businesses at this point in the last 11 months doing this. Now we're nationwide. 40 here in St. George. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you started in St. George, and then when did you decide to start going nationwide with this?
Once we got, like, it seemed like a lot of, like, we got a ton of the niches here. We got proof of concept that this works, and like a 3-phase thing. Phase 1, local ads. Phase 2, a local giveaway. Phase 3, retargeting ads. Retargeting ads only work if you have a ton of solid local followers. How do you get local followers? Local ads, a local giveaway. So I cracked that code. I realized this is a winning formula. Let's see. But then we started pivoting away from the videography side because of fulfillment issues. Like it's just taking so long to fill 30 videos with some of these clients. They're busy. We got them busy because of ads. So it's hard to do that. So then I started running ads in Phoenix, Arizona. I knew Phoenix, I knew the landscape, and I wanted to start running ads in the East Valley of Arizona to see what we can do. I spent probably $2-3 grand of ads with nothing, like no return on ad spend or nothing at that point, but I stayed stoic with it. I'm like, this works here in St. George with 40 clients. I know I can get other clients somewhere else. So we did it, and the snowball started rolling there. So then we realized we don't have to be there solely we don't have to do any videography for them. We will teach them how to run the ads. We will edit their first ad for them, so the edit's going to look good, and there's certain parameters you have to do for an ad edit. Did that, and realized they were getting crazy results. Like my turf cleaner in Arizona, his name's David, Squeaky Clean Turf. If you look him up, he 4x'd his income the first month running ads.
Wow.
4x'd. And he's like, yeah, this is crazy. And so many other people majority of my Arizona clients have a 10x return on ad spend. It's crazy. So we got like 15 clients there in Arizona. And then I hosted like a dinner. You can see that on my Instagram too. I think maybe 10 or 12 of them were able to go. Super fun. And then we got proof of concept there. Okay, this works. I just boosted a client testimonial with me and Maple's dog spa, Carrie. I ran that nationwide just to see what happens. Boom. Now it was a mobile dog grooming client here in town with a van running around. She got booked out 2 months. Her first 2 weeks, she got booked out 2 months of running ads.
Wow.
So that was in a brand new business. So that was cool. Ran that as a nationwide ad. Next thing you know, a ton of mobile dog grooming clients, followers are following me from across the nation. So it's like, whoa, okay. I ran the ad about mobile dog groomer. Mobile dog groomers are seeing that ad and they're following my page now. It's like, okay, let's do it with the junk removal guy. Okay, now junk removal people across the nation are following me. Do it with the auto detailer. Do it with the pressure washer. That's it. It's all client testimonials. So
those businesses are all the same in each area.
Exactly.
And so it's just the same. You've already got the code. It's that same thing, and just take it and apply it towards them.
Exactly.
So you already know what their results are going to be. I love that. Yeah, that's incredible. And you've got, you've got a lot of different areas to hit.
Yeah.
So you've got some big goals for this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And so you're in Utah, you're in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say you're in one other state? Just those two so far?
And then now nationwide.
Okay,
So
you're just kind of going wherever. Okay.
Yeah, now we got clients in probably 10-ish states or so, I would assume.
10-ish states.
Yeah.
And then just keep going.
Keep going.
Keep increasing the ad spend.
Yeah, so we're at like $800-900 a day in ad spend. So that's just boom to Meta. So my concept of money's kind of gone down the drain, just because in this meeting, how much is going to Meta, I don't even know. But it is what it is. Like I have to remove myself from the business, and like this is just marketing expenses. We've only done that over the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
But it got like 15 grand of ad spend in December, collected us $220K.
Yeah.
So not too shabby.
Yeah.
So now it's like, yeah, we're upping ad
Those
spend.
returns, you'll just keep doing it again and again.
Yeah. And then we up it.
And then we up it.
Yeah.
And then when you up it, you got to figure out what in the system breaks, and then get ready there, and then you can keep going, right?
We can chat about that for a quick second. So
Yes.
I found out the first thing to break was my DMs.
Yeah.
So we had so many inquiries of people. In my bio, it says like, DM me ready for a free breakdown of how you can dominate or something like that. So then we're sending a YouTube link. We had too many people reaching out once we did nationwide ads at maybe $600-700 a day in ads spend. Too many people reaching out, and we were sending too many of the YouTube links. At a certain point, if you send about 100 YouTube links a day, Instagram will flag that. I didn't know that because I was never at that volume. People were reaching out, asking for more information. We were sending them the free YouTube video. Just because of us sending that flagged our account. That got us banned on our DMs for 7 days.
Is it just because you're taking people off of the Instagram platform?
It's for www. whatever link. You're sending too many links.
Okay.
I learned that. There's a certain way you have to do it as called a button that I learned afterwards. But then, okay, DM ban for 7 days, kind of things went a little on pause. People were reaching out. Why aren't you responding back to me? I can't. I can't, please. But we didn't turn off ads or anything. So then we eased back into it. I have 2 appointment setters. They're sending about 250 to 300 DMs a day on my account, like helping me out. I see every conversation, obviously, but they're helping out with that. And then, so then we got back for about a week. And then we were sending too many like copy and pasted messages of like, hey, the video's in our bio now instead of me sending you it here. Go take a look at the video in the bio. It was like a copy and pasted thing, maybe 15 a day for that. Copy and pasted, boom, account shut down for 30 days.
Jeez.
I can't send any DMs for 30 days now. In a business that solely relies on DMs.
But these are good lessons though, because as you grow, right, especially at the pace that you're growing, they're going to break things. That's just what it is. I was watching a video the other day of an entrepreneur, and he said depending on the pace of growth, you'll break things every 3 months if you're like the pace that you're growing at, right? If it's a little bit slower, you may break something every year. But the pace that you're going, you're going to break things.
Breaking everything like once a week.
Yeah. You're going to break things. You're going to break things every few months, and like that's a good thing because that's a new problem now. It's a new challenge to solve, and you'll figure out a solution for it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious what Dan Martell does because I'm part of his group, and he's got to send out 1 million DMs, I would imagine.
There's a few different things with it. You can use many chats. You can, if they're not sending like a link. There's so many different ways about it, but there are ways. I know people doing $2 million a month from Instagram DMs.
Wow.
So it's like if you could do that at like something, we just didn't know something.
Yeah.
And that's what it broke.
Right.
But
you'll figure it out.
And we'll figure it out.
And so then you'll increase, and then you'll break the next thing, and you'll figure it out.
Exactly. So we're switching a little bit to be able to collect like a phone number and then reaching out. We have the team in place to reach out for that. So it's just instead of DMs, it's just a phone number. So
I love it.
Yeah.
If someone were watching that were young and just not quite sure a direction or where they wanted to go, right? They're sitting there, maybe they're working, maybe they have a job, and they know that that's not for them. What advice could you give them to help them find a path?
I would say number one, I feel like we all have gifts given to us according to our grace. Whatever your gift is. If it's to give, then give diligently. If it's to serve, then serve. If it's to give encouragement, give encouragement. We all have gifts given to us. Nobody here is just a dud in life. So find out, like take a step in and realize what your gifts are. What can you give back to the world? What can you give back to the world every single day, regardless of money? I started talking on camera 3 years ago, working at Trader Joe's, just because I wanted to give back more positivity. I heard a quote, "Luke, be the change you wish to see in the world." I was like, shoot. I knew at that point what was going on in my mind was I needed to give back more positivity. I deleted Instagram for almost 2 years because of all the negativity on Instagram. Seeing all the negativity with politics, with like just girls and everything on that, it was just spiraling me. Deleted it, like cleared my mind, got my mindset right. And I had to re-download it once I heard that quote, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." What did I have to give back? Just talking on camera. Did I think it was going to lead to this? Absolutely not. But what am I teaching my clients now how to do? Talk on camera.
Talk on camera.
So everything comes full circle. So for all those new entrepreneurs, or like find something that gives you a definite aim or purpose. I read a book, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It gave me like a definite aim or purpose in life. It talks about, I think 90 or 99% of the world are drifting through life. Just going about by the wind. And if you can have a definite purpose, like that's going to be everything. But how do you find that? You have to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. Like I tried online fitness coaching. I tried video editing, videography. I tried solar sales. I tried software sales. I tried IT sales in San Diego. I tried so much, but nothing stuck like this has stuck.
I love that though, because you failed several times, right? And I think that's the secret is fail, 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 succeed. And you have to be willing to fail in order to succeed.
Yes. Majority of people are too scared to fail to ever win.
Yeah.
So the fear of failure, or the fear of failure will stump somebody for their whole life. I've seen it. People don't want to take that risk because it's risky. You don't know, it's the unknown. But when you risk it all is yours. So you have to put it on the line. You have to be not scared of failure, because because then it's like the world's your oyster. You don't know what you're capable of until you take that step, until you invest in that mentor to see what you're capable of. Self-investment is a whole thing of time collapsing. You pay money to a mentor or somebody that you see has a certain skill set. You pay money to learn a certain skill that takes you a quarter of the time it took them.
Right.
So I would pay somebody that spent $300,000 to learn paid ads. I will pay them $8,000 in time collapse, what took them 3 years to learn. I want to learn that in 3 months. That's how you time collapse. That's how we're doing this at 23.
Yeah, I love that. You're speeding it up.
Yeah, that's it.
If a business, for somebody who are watching this, it was a business owner, and maybe they've got a great product, but they're just kind of feeling stuck. They don't have enough leads going on, right? What's some advice that you could give them to help reignite the business?
To reignite the business, shake hands and have every single person in your community know exactly what you do. Every single person needs to know what you do as a business. Become the best known. The best known beats the best when the best isn't known. Become the best known.
I love that. Where can people follow you, Luke?
Luke Dobson on Instagram with 2 N's. That's my main thing right now. YouTube is starting to kick off too, more of the behind the scenes entrepreneurship. Here's lessons I learned going from 0 to 10K a month, 10 to 20, all that. But Instagram's the main funnel.
Luke,
awesome.
thanks so much for coming on, man. This was incredible. So we appreciate you, and we're excited to see where it goes over the next year with the growth that you've had.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, both of you, Christian, Danielle. I really appreciate it, and